Hi, today we are with Gerald Finch. Right now he's gonna introduce himself and give us an idea of what he does.
What I do? Well, of course, I teach management courses here and some psychology courses here at the university. I write, publish, things like that. Yeah. I think that one interesting thing is that before teamwork, perhaps you need to think about the overall climate of the company. Are the workers really upset about everything, or they generally feel good about where they work and the kind of work they do? Or do they have all kinds of resentments towards the company and to management and other colleagues and all that stuff? I think a good place to start is to make sure that that climate is going in the right direction. Try to get people to work together who hate everything about the company, it'll probably not work very well. So you probably need to explore, in psychology we call it job satisfaction, to actually explore the employees' perceptions of that first, and identify problem areas, probably first. And then maybe address some of those, the big ones, and then you might be able to start working on trying to create teamwork and so on. Well, first, assuming that the job satisfaction in the company is okay, or good or okay. I'm making that assumption when it often is not okay, but assuming that. Then to get people to work together in teams, it helps if there's some sort of a incentive or some sort of team goals that the team can try to achieve. If they work together well in a team, is the team going to get any recognition for this or not? Because this is what happens. So some companies like Nestle and others said, oh, we want this group effort, we want everyone to work together in teams. But all of the evaluations and all of the incentives were based on individual work, not teamwork. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have complete agreement between the evaluation system and the compensation system, it's very difficult to see how teamwork can fit in. So if the people are being rewarded on individual work and being evaluated on individual work, why should they work well in teams? It doesn't make sense. So those preconditions usually need to be there. But some companies like Nestle and others have made the mistake of saying, okay, teamwork is the way we need to go. So they look at the evaluation system and compensation system, and they go too far in teamwork, and the individual efforts are lost. And that's not good, because every person in the group doesn't perform equally. So it has to be some sort of combination of the two, usually. Well, I think you certainly need the team to have its goals and know where it's going. So you need that structure, otherwise the team won't know what to do. But the emotional ties can be important as well, but the same emotional ties, if they're strong, they can destroy the team also. So depending on what the function of the team is. If the function of the team is if their main function is to come up with new ideas, then strong emotional ties might increase the chance of groupthink, which therefore would reduce the effectiveness of the group. But if the group if their main functions are getting things done, not coming up with ideas, just doing things, then these emotional connections can be very, very helpful. But the team needs to know where it's going first, and needs to know that somehow they're going to be recognized through their evaluations or compensation or something. So which is more important? I don't know. You desperately need both, unless you're just there to come up with new ideas. And then strong emotional connections will increase the chance of groupthink, which will decrease the effectiveness of the team. All right, well, in many collaborative goals, the least trust, the better. Because, again, high trust increases the chances of groupthink. It reduces the chance people will come up with new ideas and be different than everybody else. But if trust is something you really want to achieve, because you're trying to accomplish objectives and so on, one of the things that would help is to have people of the same culture in that team. If you start mixing French and Latino and US and German and Arab, the chances of having a team with high trust is close to zero. So if trust is the main thing, then you probably want to have people of similar culture working together, and they will trust each other more than if you start mixing in a whole lot of other cultures. And in the United Nations where I worked, we had people from every culture, and trust was very, very difficult to achieve. I would say impossible to achieve, actually, with all the cultures. So having a single culture is a good starting point to develop, assuming you want trust. I mean, things like trust sounds like a good thing, but not always do you want it. Depends on what the goal of the group is. Well, yeah, trust is easier to establish if everyone on the team is from the same basic culture. By that I mean all Latinos, okay, all Northern Europeans, all Arabs, all Asian, that sort of thing. So yeah, I would say that would be essential. Organizational culture. All right. So, if the employees are evaluated, all right, how do I put it? If they are evaluated using a forced ranking system, and they're evaluated from one, here's the best employee, and the top one, and we have the 100th is the worst one. You put them in order. And employees know that that's going to happen. Why should they trust anybody? You'd be insane to trust anybody, because if you help somebody else, they go up, and by definition you go down. By definition. And so you need to have an evaluation system that promotes trust. And forced ranking does not. It does the opposite. So you need to have an evaluation system and compensation system that promote trust, not take away from it.
Okay.
So those sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, thank
but
you very much.
But all these labels that sound good, like trust and loyalty, they always have a shadow. You know?
They may or may not work.
Yeah. I mean, they sound good. Trust? No, sometimes it's terrible. So, you know, sometimes it's good to do what you want to do.
Well, thank you for your expert opinion.
Come back.